Greetings, fellow zombie slayers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Project Zomboid, King of Louisville, episode 25, hitting the books again. So Louis, let's go make sure the base is all buttoned up before you go to sleep. So your options are as follows. I can continue to secure the surrounding area. We didn't really get very far doing that. I could improve the vehicle that we got, which means leveling up mechanics, and probably means getting mechanics book. Secure the gas station, continue to build safe exits from the base, level up skills, go on a book run, because we do need some books. Our library isn't complete, or other suggestions by you guys. You guys suggest something. And Louis is getting quite tired. I'm just checking in on the plants. Alright, we're just waiting for the strawberries, but everything else looks okay. Water needs to get filled. I think what I'll also do is after I run one of these polls, or maybe two of them, I'm going to add some additional options to them to include stranger sort of tasks that aren't directly related to Louis' survival, but just could be fun, you know? And cheers. Thank you for the hype train. So it looks like improving vehicles is the leading option. And that's what I might end up doing right off the bat. So you guys can continue voting. But I'm going to head to the bookstore. So I'm heading to the bookstore because I didn't expect to require farming level 3, mechanics level 3, tailoring level 3 books, and I never really got them. Actually, I do have the tailoring book, if I recall. But the other books I have not fetched. And if you guys want me working to improve the car, I'm going to need the book for it. But let's bank the tailoring book for now. So that's one that we can read. Given that the bookstore is not immediately adjacent to the base, I'm going to take the car. And then also, I think it's very likely that we run into some trouble down there. Because the last time I was by Book Naked, which is the closest bookstore, it was crowded. It was a little crowded. I'm not going to lie. Oh, that was awkward. I got into the car and then... nope, I guess not. Alright, so just a little reminder where we're headed. We are here where the red dot is, and we're headed to Book Naked with the smiley face. There is really, really, truly no rhyme and reason as to how I mark the maps. It's pretty messy. And Brazit, thank you for the gifted subs. According to my book tracker, my old school book tracker, we still have need of almost all 3, 4, and 5 books. I did not grab very many of them. That's going to be one of the first orders of business. Because if we're going to be doing metalwork and mechanics on this car, I might as well be getting as much experience for it as possible. So we're going south, southeast. And it is pretty well-traveled territory, so I shouldn't run into too many. Maybe just the occasional roamer. Like these guys. Although it looks like there's a lot more zombies up the street. Shut off the engine, because I'll probably be clear in a while. Oh, you got vitamins. Let's see how panicked Louis here will get. He should be getting somewhat accustomed to zombies by now, as he's been alive for about a month. So the typical panic numbers ought not to climb as high as they have in the past. Oh, really? A 1.02 stomp? Come on, man. Alright, looks like improving vehicles have one. And although it does not look like it, I am working on it. The other thing to do is keep an eye out for any other heavy vehicles. You guys wanted me to... Ooh, a crowbar. You guys wanted me to use a bull driver, but any other heavy vehicle can be stripped of parts in order to improve my bull driver. Especially parts that are hard to repair or possible to repair, like windshield. That would be a good one. Because the windshield of the bull driver looks pretty bad. But there's only a subset of... Ooh, that is a fresh crowbar, too. There's only a subset of parts that are, like, I would say critical to keep your car running. And that would be wheels, front bumper, or front trunk, really, not bumper. Engine, driver's side door and window are like the really important ones. Because without driver's side door and window, they can reach in and get you. Without your wheels, your car will sort of move a little bit on 3 wheels. And it will come to a dead stop on 2. On 3 wheels, if you're like in a swarm, you're pretty screwed. You're not going to be able to drive out of a swarm. And on 2 wheels, you're just dead in the water. So, and then of course engine, well, that was pretty self-explanatory. Kilgore, thank you for the resub. Cheers. Looks like I forgot to bring food with me, except for coffee. Wow, these zombies, like, half of the zombies I killed have useful items, which is surprising. They all had, like, leather jackets, beta blockers, vitamins, crowbar. Take a garbage bag? I don't yet have the skills to warrant that. So it's not something I'm particularly worried about. Plus, it's very easy to obtain garbage bags in this game. But my carpenter skill won't allow me to make the nicer rain barrels. But maybe if I level that up at some point. Yeah, don't forget to strip the zombies. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not at the moment working on tailoring, nor do I have the tailoring book read, but I'll take the leather strips whenever I find them. But when I do the thread stripping, the thread ripping, in order to try to gain more thread, that's when I would want to read the tailoring book, because it's a lot of work. Not to get full XP benefits for it. Excuse you. Oh, apparently Louis can't stomp today. There we go. He's a killing machine. Sounds like there's a lot of zombies around, though. Coming out of the woodwork. Glasswork. What do I need leather strips for? So, you can improve your own clothing by sewing extra fabric into your clothing. And there's 3 types of fabric that you can sew into your clothing. Cloth, denim, or leather, and leather's the best. So I need leather strips in order to improve my clothing, to improve its armor. So the more leather strips that I have, the more I can improve said clothes. It's a very significant bonus, too. I'm just poking in on here. Well, they had a lot of bourbon. Because Louie's hungry, and it looks like he's about to fight a lot of people. So, I'm gonna eat a box of mac and cheese. Oh, look at this. It's one of the reasons why I'm not too concerned with trapping and fishing. Because Louisville is got decades worth of canned goods for me to just obtain. I mean, everything perishable has perished, for sure. But everything non-perishable, still delicious. Yeah, you know, while I'm here, might as well clean these leather strips in the sink. Fill my bottles. And I should still be on beta blockers. I want to cut this group into two. Oh, actually, let's race backwards and clear these guys. One of the most important things when you're killing zombies is to make sure not to take too many on at once, unless you have considerable weapon prowess and maneuvering space. Those are probably the two, well, and fatigue and tiredness levels managed. Probably the 4 factors most important. Do you have space to fight? Do you have the weapon to fight? Do you have the skill? Well, 5. If you include weapon durability. There's a lot of factors. But I wouldn't want zombies coming in from behind when I'm cleaning a horde out in front. That's a recipe for disaster. So those antidepressants? No. It's a small black dress. Green dress. Yeah, this is the kind of grouping I didn't want to have. Because when they're clustered like this, it's hard to hit one and not open yourself up to attacks from the others because they're in such a death ball. On Survivor difficulty, it's a little bit easier because there's multi-hit. But I can only hit one at a time with melee weapons. Of course, if I was to use a car, that'd be a little different. It would be really cool to be able to tell, like, if zombies were original or they were respawn. I have no idea, like, what kind of mod would allow you... I mean, I don't know how it would even show. But I am always sort of curious. Are these zombies that just, like, busted out of their homes since I last came down this way? Or are these zombies that are newly spawned due to a lack of patrolling on my part? But Book Naked is just like 3 houses up, so we're almost there. Another giant group? Oh man, there's a lot in this restaurant too. A little worried about Louis getting fatigued in all of this, because it is a lot of manual clearing. Time spawned? Yeah, probably dev mode would show time spawned. Show, like, the age of the spawn. You were coming behind me, weren't you? So I don't... Well, alright, I aggroed them. I was going to say I don't technically have to kill this group, because I can sneak past them. But the real worry is if you try to sneak past them and then they, like, wander towards your front door, then you're, like, stuck in a building with no valid way out, or no safe way out. Which is dangerous. Hey, Dante. Thank you for the resub. So I'll clear them. Looks like the beta blockers wore off. Yeah, lore-wise, it would make sense if you survive long enough. Well, the lore of Zomboid is a little weird, where, like, I don't know if it's the lore so much as just the obvious consequences of game mechanics, where, like, all the zombies are from day 0, right? Because there's no other humans. When they add other NPCs, then the game mechanics changes, where there's a possibility that zombies lived a while and perished. I guess there's the meta events of, like, people screaming and whatever. So I think the theory is, like, there are other people out there, you just don't ever see them. But to my mind, you're alone, right? Like, functionally, you're alone. Until they add NPCs, you're the only survivor as far as I'm concerned. Even if you can hear other people screaming, it's just background filler noise, for the most part. But yeah, once there's other NPCs in the game, then it makes a little bit more sense, because it's like, oh, well, this zombie is dressed for winter, so they must have perished in the winter. Because, you know, otherwise you wouldn't be wearing snow pants unless they offered a lot of armor that you would want. I don't know. I think in a zombie apocalypse, I wouldn't, like, bundle up and overheat on purpose. All right, Louis needs a little bit of a break. Take a smoke break. There's only a few more zombies up ahead yet to clear. Maybe the shoes are in bad condition for the lack of stomp damage. I think the shoes aren't in bad condition. I think I just missed the sweet spot. Yeah, shoes are fine. 3/4 condition. No holes. I should switch shoes, but the army surplus store has plenty of boots for me to switch to, so that's not something I'm going to be looking to loot, because I basically have multiple years worth of shoes at home. It looks like all the zombies that would be immediately annoying trying to loot this place have been cleared. And do one quick pass to make sure there's no zombies in here. Alright, there aren't. And get out my sheet of paper. See what books I am lacking. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all fun reading materials as well, because I have the truck outside with a big trunk. So electrical 4 is something I already have. Fishing 4, I believe I need. And sorry, this will take a minute, or obviously more than a minute, just to be thorough. But I'm being thorough so that I don't have to do this twice, or 3 times thrice. Fishing 5. So mechanics 3 and 5 are needed. Cool. Mechanics 3 is really what I was looking for right now. Tailoring 4 is not needed. That's that shelf is done. And now my backpack's full. Trapping 4, I actually have. Nothing else here. Electrical 3 is a go. We'll take that. Technically, I don't have first aid 3. I'll take it. And foraging 3, I'll take that as well. Trap 3, I need. Farm 3, I need immediately, because one of those skills I don't have the book for, and I need to read for next harvest. Foraging 4, I need as well. Didn't I just take a fishing 3? Yeah, I did. I didn't mark it down. So the only 3 book I'm missing currently is cooking, and the only 4 books I'm missing is cooking, first aid, and mechanics. That's pretty limited in scope. So here's cooking 3. Okay, I have all 3 books. So I have now, as long as I've been marking them down properly, I have all books for 1, 2, and 3. I'm only missing books for 4 and 5. So the 4s would be cooking. Oh, foraging. Good. I did need foraging 5. Metalwork. Why do I keep shoving? Hitting the wrong keys. Metalwork 4 and 5. I only needed 5. All right, cool. I'm not sure if I need electrical 4. I'm going to take it. I have it marked down on my sheet that I have it, but it's marked in a different manner. And I'm a little worried that I mismarked it. Like you do. I did take cooking. So first aid and mechanics are the only 4 books. Nope. Electrical 5, yes. Cool. I think we'll leave here with either every single book I need or like at least most of them. Is Churchill Downs present in the game? I don't know how to answer that. Don't know what that is. Taylor 5 is a yes. Cool. So I'm only looking for mechanics 4, first aid 4 and 5, and carpentry 5. So 4 books I'm missing. So mechanics 4. There's mechanics 1, 2, and 3, but not 4. You blame me in the best of ways for picking up this game? I accept the blame. Like a collect call. It's my fault, and it's fine by me. It's a good game. It's a great game. Carp 5. Bada bing, bada boom. Carpentry is done. So first aid 4 and 5, and mechanics 4. And honestly, first aid 4 and 5, I can't imagine a situation where I'm going to have to read it. Because I went over that last stream. Oh, and no, mechanics 4. Basically, leveling up first aid is near impossible to do solo. Alright, I think that's all that this, Does this have a back room? Oh, it does. of not books, but electronics and tools. Also should remember that a lead pipe. This is probably an easier entry exit than the other one. So Mechanics 4 is the only book, unless I'm mistaken, is the only book that I would actually want at this point that I don't have. What a messy, messy building this is. So I'll do a quick check of the books. It's going to be really obvious once I dump these in. In fact, I'll even dump the ones I have favorited in, just so that I can scan to make sure that what I have written down and what I have in storage matches up. Because I wouldn't want to assume that I have a certain book that I'm relying upon owning and then not have it. So it looks like Cook 4 is missing. And I have 2 Electrical 4. I did mention that I thought I had Electrical 4 already. So Cook 4. Really? I really, truly thought I picked that up. I might swing back to the... Oops, I didn't mean to fill that with water. I might swing back to the bookstore before too long. So Cook 4, I'll circle. All Electrical, all Farm. The first aids that I don't have. Fishing 3 looks to be missing as well. See, I'm really bad at counting to 5, apparently. And then Mechanics 4 I had marked down that I'm missing. So that would be true. All metalwork is there, all tailoring is there, all trapping is there. All right. So Cook 4, Fish 3, First Aid 4, 5, and Metalwork 4. Cook 4 was in there? In my... Yeah, it was... No, I mean, it was in the... It was in the store. I just thought I had it at home and didn't grab it. I had checked off that I had it at home. Unless I put it somewhere else. I mean, that's entirely possible that I just put it somewhere dumb. Like in one of these shelves. So I'll give that a quick look. Also, that cookbook shouldn't be in there either. There's probably more organization to be done. Separating out electronics, medicine, guns, tools. You know, this isn't well sorted. Hey, JP. Welcome to the stream. You recently got a bunch of people together for PZ multiplayer? Yeah, that's great. It really is, especially on a local network. It's a great multiplayer game to play. Like, trying to play with friends that are in other continents might prove to be a little tricky. Like, if I wanted to play with someone from Australia, latency is going to be a real problem. What, LAN? Yeah, this is a good game to play LAN. Absolutely. So this is a spare Cook 1 book. Just throw it out. I could unpack it. There we go. Making sure that there's no... Oh, did I? No, this is right. Okay, so let's go back for some of the books that I missed but should have. After I microwave cabbage so I can eat it sooner. How's it going? It's going pretty good. If you're wondering how long this character's been alive, he's been alive for 28 days, 4 hours, and it is September the 5th in-game. Alright, now I'm full of microwaved cabbage. I've actually, sometimes you want to microwave cabbage. I've made, kimchi dishes where I want to heat up the kimchi and, like, if you don't want to change its liquid content, microwaving is somewhat reasonable. A head of cabbage? Nah, it's a different story. That, I would agree, is a little gross. You love how messy that floor is? Yeah. I mean, you know, I'm not paid to clean it up. That's a peasant's job. Really? There's already zombies here? I was gone for like 3 seconds. Maybe not literally. I'm just gonna drive past them. The chance of them messing with me is pretty low. Oh, and I forgot. I'll put electrical 4 back on the shelves. I meant to throw that one out too. You'll be buying this game next week? Just watching for tips? Well, regulars of my channel knows exactly what I would say to new players. Because it's always the same advice. Which is, when you're new to Zomboid, don't treat it like a looting game. Just practice combat. Do nothing but practice combat. Because, trust me when I say this, as an somewhat experienced Zomboid player, the game is not fun until you can take on enemies and fight crowds and groups and stuff like that. Every other aspect of the game is going to be frustrating and unpleasant until you can take on zombies. So, when you're a new player, don't even bother to fight, to do anything but fight. Just go into, like, start a new game, find a weapon, and fight. And then, once you can survive by fighting, like, once, you know, you can take down the average crowd of zombies, like 20, let's say, then is when you start treating it like a survival game, where you collect materials and everything. So the other thing is, if you join my Discord, I have a PDF of, like, the items that you should be on the lookout for, like a bingo sheet, and you can download it, or you can Google it if you want. I mean, this is just a PDF of my opinion, so, you know, other opinions might vary, but there's a certain list of, like, tools and books and things like that that everyone should be looking out for. So we are looking for cooking 4 and fishing 3. I thought I had them and skipped over them. So here's not either of them. Never mind. And if you want other tips, the official Project Zomboid Discord is, I'm sure, a really good place to go. But you can also feel free to ask me or other members of my community about it, because there's a lot of experienced players in the community. Some that I'm sure have even more hours logged than I do. Well, there's a lot more pleasure books that I kind of didn't grab because I wasn't trying to. So here's Fish 3. So I got Fish 3 now. Not that I'll ever read it, but might as well have it. So Cook 4 is what I'm looking for. And then if there's Mechanics 4, First Aid 4, and 5, that'd be nice, but I don't think that's here. So I'm really just looking for Cook 4. And someone in chat said it was here. Let me just make this larger. A little bit less frustrating to loot. I don't know. Maybe it isn't here. Oh no, here it is. Okay. So we have all the cookbooks, have all the fishing books. We're just missing Mechanics 4, Farming 4, 5. And I'm under the belief that they do not exist here. Unfortunately, Mechanics 4 was definitely one that I was, Farming 4 was there? I have all the farming books. I was looking for Cook. Right? Don't I have Farming 4 back home? Did I miss that one too? I'll grab it. Just in case. Alright. And let's bail. Because Louis is getting tired. And therefore he's worthless at melee combat. And I can hear the zombies clanking on the walls. So tomorrow what I'll do is I'm going to read the rest of tonight before I go to sleep, and tomorrow I'll read the mechanics book. I believe that I left off watching the end of... Actually, I don't know which car tape I haven't watched, but I can rewatch them all because it doesn't hurt. And then I'll start to look for parts for this car after I've learned all that I can from the tapes. No, I had Farming 4 here. I am sure I said it, and I didn't mean to say it. I probably meant Fish 4. So, yeah, the only ones I'm missing now would be First Aid 4 and 5 and Mechanics 4. Everything else I've got. So I'm going to pull Mechanics 3 out because I'm going to read that soon. I'll pull Farming 3 out. And I'll pull Tailoring 3 out. These are the books I need to read for... Well, for hitting the books. Metalwork is also integral in car repair. So that's another one where I should probably level up as well. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out all the fun reading stuff out of this magazine rack and put it on the other shelf over here, so it's a little bit even better organized. Because all of this is educational magazines. So if I'm ever bored or unhappy, I can just hit this right side, and it has the magazines, word search, newspapers, crossbook, comic book. All right, we're good on that front. I don't have the other half of this metal shelf. I remember that now. So I don't need this Farming 4. Toss that in the circular filing bin. And then I have a crazy amount of books in my backpack. You know, like the typical middle schooler. 14 books. And lifelong spine condition. You're anything like me when I was in middle school, you did not use the lockers. I used a locker, like, when I was my first year of middle school, and then it was broken into, and this was what was really dumb. The thing that was stolen from me was a like a fleece jacket from a summer camp that I went to that was a small summer camp. So I would absolutely know everybody else that went to that summer camp, and nobody at my middle school did. And then I saw a kid wearing that jacket like a month later, and it's like, yeah, it's mine. And of course, because at summer camp, you might not know this if you didn't go to camp, but like you write your initials on the clothing tags of everything, so that if your fleece jacket gets mixed up with someone else's, your initials would be on the back, you know, like AA or whatever. So I went to a teacher and I was like, yeah, that kid stole my jacket. And they're like, do you have any proof? And I'm like, yeah, my initials will be on the tag on the neck. And lo and behold, that it was. Yeah, don't steal people's clothing. And after that, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna use my locker. If you can jimmy it open with a butter knife, it's not a locker, it's just a closet. Alright, Louie, time to spend time in the storm, smoking a cigarette on the roof, and then reading Mechanic's book. You live life in like a loft of a warehouse, smoking cigarettes while tending farm crop in an urban city. You're like an art student graduate trying to make ends meet as like a car mechanic. Cheers. So my weight is still dropping. I ought to eat something nasty. Get it back up. What I really ought to be focusing on is cooking up the foods that are going to spoil in the freezer. But I don't want to take the time to, like, make eggs right now. So I don't know. Like, part of it is like, yeah, I should cook the eggs before they spoil. And then the other part of it is like, I have stuff to do. So I will instead just drink evaporated milk and eat canned corned beef for breakfast. And then wash it down with some candy. Like I said before, Louis here is inventing a new type of diabetes. Alright. Bottoms up, buddy. You're French, but you're eating food like you're British. That's right, Brits. Food's gross. Alright. Got a tummy full of empty calories now. I should be gaining weight. 77 and holding. So, we'll see. More like eating the backwoods of Kentucky? True. Oh, looks like the seed-bearing strawberry plants. So, okay. Oh, well. I really need to read the next farming book. But you guys voted for mechanics, so that I'll do. I'm only lacking a cup of coffee. I know, man. I know. All right. Louis, how are you enjoying reading time? I think he's miserable. I think I've made him miserable. But he did finish the book, despite being a slow reader. And you guys can vote on what I do after I level up my mechanics. A bit more. So the mechanics is done. And I left this tape on the ground, Car Zone 3. So I think there's a little bit left of Car Zone 3 for me to learn. Wait, what's in the... Oh, Cook Show 1. Yeah... I'm gonna wait on that. So Car Zone 3, let's stick it in. And then start reading the farming book. No, there was nothing left on Car Zone 3. So I am all out of tape experience for cars. I believe. Hey, Megahoo! Thanks for the gifted subs! And back to the pink I go again. At mechanics level 4, I can do a reasonable amount of maintaining the car, though. Uh-oh. The TV says it requires a nearby power source. I think the generator ran out of power as I went to sleep. That sucks. That's not going to be good for food rot. Oh, and it's dark. So yeah, my theory would be correct. I'm coming, generator. Oh, or is it broken? No, it's not broken. I wouldn't let it break. Don't let your generators drop below 50% because they can spontaneously combust, which is a big old death sentence in Zomboid. So this generator is powering up lights and a popsicle bridge. Okay. All right, coffee store. Cool. I think what I'll do is I'm gonna head to the coffee shop, but also look for car parts on the way there. So there's one car garage that I have yet to check out nearby. So I'm gonna want to head over there to see about getting parts for the bull driver. And it looks like the stuff in the freezer is getting frozen again, but it did thaw out overnight. Nothing looks rotted, but it definitely wasn't good for me to let the fuel hit 0. And I also know that I have strawberries on the roof that have yet to be harvested, but I've got my tasks. Okay, we have spare gas. So let me mark down where I'm headed. I am headed to the Seahorse Coffee, which is this building, I think. So I'll probably head back towards the bookstore and then just continue down the road. And then when I get to the Brooks Public Library on my left, I'll wing a right. So this here is the Brooks Public Library. This one here. If I wanted to search for additional books, it's not too far off. But that's not what I'm doing today. I'm going on a coffee run. So there was a car garage where this gear is, so maybe I'll swing by that first. The closest car garage we know is like a front for drugs. They didn't have really any car parts in them, so I don't need to check that. Because I already have, and it was also not really a garage at all. But there was another garage down this way that might have heavy car parts. And yeah, so broccoli diet. Lots of fiber. Louis gets his fiber. Oh, hello. I shouldn't have accelerated time. I'm glad that time acceleration won't allow you to accelerate to your death. It gives you like a little bit of a window of like, you know, there's zombies right next to you. Do you want to slow down time acceleration? And it's like, oh, by yes, of course I do. Really? Come on, man. 0.53. Thank you for tuning in to Project Zomboid, King of Louisville, which originally streamed live on Twitch February 16th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhadamant.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. A special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow zombie slayers.